I finished the book Atomic Habits a couple of months ago, and it's a great book if you haven't read it. But I was just reminded of it yesterday. So my husband and I just reached a particular retirement goal that we had set quite a long time ago, just yesterday. And to some people, that goal that we just reached is a low number. To other people, it's quite a high number. But to us, it was just a goal that we had set that was kind of a little scary thing. And yet, we set little steps, I'd say each day, each week, each month, to know that eventually we would get there with persistence, which is basically the tenet of Atomic Habits, is can you consistently do small steps toward whatever the big goal is and realize that over the course of time, you'll get there. Um, so yesterday was a nice little celebration that we did actually get there. And then, of course, what's the next goal from there, right? But I think what ends up happening is we set these very lofty goals and then we push ourselves with really, really, really unrealistic big steps to get there fast. So the example on the other side of that would be a client that was mentioning to me that she wanted to start exercising. And so my suggestion was, and bear with me on this one, is that she should take one walk a year as her goal around the golf course or around the park near her house. And she kind of laughed and said, "Josh, that's the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard." And I was like, "Well, the reason I say that is because you've not done any over this last year, and if you do one, then you celebrate that, and anything beyond that, then you tend to build up this positive reaffirmation in yourself or affirmation." Whereas if you set this really lofty goal for yourself and the first time you miss it, in most instances we get really devastated and defeated by that. And so then we give up on that particular goal because, oh no, I missed it. As opposed to setting initially a goal that's so doable, it's almost impossible to not succeed in it. And then build from there to the next step, the next step, and the next step, right? So, what was fascinating is even though she said that that was a stupidly realistic and attainable goal, she didn't set it. And so for the next year, she didn't take any walks around the golf course or the park around her home, which I thought was pretty fascinating. So that particular goal of one per year was actually more than what she could do in her mind's eye. And then we laugh about it afterward now, and she does exercise kind of when she wants to. But it still was a really fascinating thing in relation to this Atomic Habits of, yes, you can set big goals, and then what are the little steps that are required of you to get there? Not super sexy in some instances. Sometimes it's best to set them to be, again, so attainable uh, that you should be able to do it with your eyes closed. And yet, in some instances, it's not happening. Mm. So back to this idea of our financial retirement set. Yes, it is finally met, knowing full well it would eventually get there with enough time and with enough consistency. And so now it's what's the next goal we'd like to reach and when we like to reach it by, and what's the next small step that we can do consistently. So, if you haven't read Atomic Habits or books like that, by all means, please do. I'll see you later.